It's that special time of year again, down in Louisiana in the New Orleans area. Fall is here, October has arrived, and Halloween is just around the corner. And of course, it is still hot as hell down here. Halloween is a special time down here in Louisiana. Although some traditions have passed, much like the House of Shock being a yearly staple for me and many of my friends and family. They have changed over, and there's haunts still keeping the vibe, even in Baton Rouge. We have the 13th Gate, and there's plenty to go around. Halloween being second to Mardi Gras as far as festivities, costume balls, the charade, the masquerade, and the tourism is rampant. And the vibe is fun. So thank you again for joining me in the wicked webs we weave, mon ami. Je m'appelle Ryan McKern. And tonight is the Louisiana Halloween History Special, Part 2. If you have not seen Part 1, I will put the link in the description of this video where you can catch that. Tonight's episode will have articles and information gathered regarding the traditions of Louisiana Halloween, as also fun things to do around town, and the history of the Crew de Boo Halloween Parade. Sit back and dwell in the proverbial darkness. And thank you again for once joining me in the wicked webs we weave. Happy Halloween. What a great time to pull out that okra, which you put on the hottest day of the last summer, and prepare the season's first gumbo. The cool winds of a Louisiana fall and the rich aroma of gumbo fall are upon us. The chinaberry trees turn a beautiful yellow with the first frost, which is apt to come in November. Sugarcane holds its color longest. Although the winters are short, they bring about a dullness in the landscape, thought to be characteristic only of climates of far more northerly latitude. Between cold spells, the balmy winds the Gulf blow, and they ultimately bring rain, post-1974. Preparation and anticipation, whether it is the making of a pot of gumbo or in advance of a holy day or celebration, process a ritual or repeat it again and again, year after year. We look forward to the repetition. The yearly cycle of seasonal events and holidays serve as guideposts for our identity. Yet the modern lifestyles led by most have caused the altering of our traditional behavior calendar. Many of the seasonal communal acts, which were once essential and significant to the maintenance of familiar relations and community welfare, are no longer relevant. Some of these are syrup making, hog boucheries, carding and weaving, and la ville, overnight visits among families. All Saints' Day. The day after Halloween, All Saints' Day, La Toussaint, is more important in South Louisiana than any other area of the country, both as a Catholic holy day of obligation and as a day of family unity. According to the custom of the people, all crops had to be in. Hogs were turned out to be glean the cornfields and potato patches, post-1974 to 18. Thus we also forget the Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead festival, celebrated in Mexico, and also a big tradition in the United States. Culturally, thematically, it is a breathtaking event. Evelyn Augustine maintains the grove of her brother in the combe. The grave is seen below. The day is one elaborate ceremony, closely aligned with Latin American celebration on the Day of the Dead. Many people would recount the families would gather all day to whitewash the graves and decorate them for All Saints. They would bring a picnic lunch and eat at the cemetery. Couronne de Saints. Every tome was adorned with a Couronne de Saints, a wreath of artificial or fresh flowers. Since the flowers of All Saints' Day were to be everlasting through the year, the use of wax paper flower wreaths was popular. And at one time, many women made the wreaths. Of course, said black women would sell their wreaths on the steps of St. Martin de Tours Catholic Church in St. Mandeville. Today, the use of crepe paper wreaths have been largely replaced by plastic flowers. In some French Catholic cemeteries in southeast Louisiana parishes, a late evening mass is followed by a candlelight ceremony in the graveyard and a blessing of the tombs. One gentleman remembers, and he quotes to say, "They would parade and parade. Each one would put the candle on his family's tomb and kneel down, and the priest would bless the dead." End quote. Now, most of the people interviewed have no recollection of the practice in Lafayette, St. Martin, St. Landry, or Evangeline Parish. But many churches do conduct daytime mass, followed by a blessing of the cemetery. For more on All Saints' Day wax paper wreaths, obtain Craft Talk, interviews with 5 traditional Louisiana craftspeople, available from the Lafayette Natural History Museum bookstore. Last year, New Orleans celebrated its tricentennial. After 300 years, the city has seen a large enough share of ghosts and witches to now be called the most haunted city in America. These haunted tales have been passed along for generations and always seem to resurface around Halloween. You may recall the infamous tale of Madame Delphine Lalaurie, or the tragic story of Pierre-Antoine Lepore-Jordan. And what other city in America would be home to the First Lady of Voodoo, Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans? I live near some of the oldest cemeteries in the city, and often marvel at the beauty, peace, and tranquility of these hallowed grounds. After researching the history of these cemeteries, I came across an article about the Feast of All Souls, or All Souls Day, in the early history of the city. This day was dedicated to celebrating the lives and family of friends who had passed on. The day was spent in the cemeteries, cleaning tombs, manicuring lawns, and placing flowers. The respect for those who have passed is still apparent by the care in the family tombs that now date back several centuries. On a larger scale, Halloween in New Orleans takes a more festive feel, similar to Mardi Gras. Frenchman Street in the Marigny neighborhood is alive with spooky, costume-clad revelers as music blasts out from the jazz clubs and bars. A week earlier, to get the haunted season rolling, Gros Bout, a family-friendly event, mind you, parades through the French Quarter and CBD before ending in the Warehouse District. October 19th, a week later, Voodoo Fest used to be held. Voodoo Fest has stopped in operation and currently is to this day. October 25th to the 27th in City Park, just to the south of Scout Island, Scream Park that operates throughout the month until November 2nd, celebrating our haunted past. It's like most things in New Orleans, a time to be festive and have fun. To learn more, please visit the Ghost City Tours. And also check out Fête Gede Festival at the New Orleans Healing Center in St. Claude and St. Roch. Voodoo Authentica's Halloween celebration taking place on October 31st. Calinda Laveau's Voodoo celebration also taking place around the same time. And of course, Oktoberfest at the Deutsches Haus are just some of the many, many spectacular things happening around the city at this time. The Spectacular Halloween Events in New Orleans blog, Ultimate Guide, is released, and I will have a link in the description of this video. New Orleans is the perfect city to celebrate Halloween with its rich history of the supernatural, eerie ghost stories, and festive spirits that takes over the entire city. Whether you're seeking haunted houses, family-friendly events, or something thrillingly spooky, New Orleans has it all. Here's our guide to the best Halloween events in town. Just to name a few: the Haunted House Mortuary off of Canal Street. If you're a thrill seeker, the Mortuary Haunted House should be on your bucket list during spooky season in New Orleans. This frequently haunted house is set in an actual former funeral home. It's one of the city's most haunted attractions. With terrifying actors and spine-chilling scenes, it's an experience that you won't forget. For more information on the Haunted Mortuary, please see my previous episode covering the history in detail. The Bouquerie in the French Market is a free family-friendly Halloween celebration featuring spooky crafts, trick-or-treating, live music, plenty of fun activities for the little ones. This event captures the whimsical side of Halloween. The event takes place Saturday, October 19th. Ghost in the Oaks is a ghost adventure like no other in Oaks in the City Park. This annual event offers a magical experience for families, including trick-or-treating, hay rides, and Halloween-themed crafts. It's a perfect way to enjoy the night under the oak trees in one of New Orleans' most beloved parks. This takes place on October 17th to the 20th in New Orleans City Park, in the Carousel Gardens Amusement Park. Ghost City tours are also available, and I highly implore you to check out Haunted History tours as well as French Quarter fandoms, operating the French Quarter and doing many paranormal, vampire, cemetery, and other historical guided tours. Take a lovely stroll down St. Charles if you're in the Lower Garden District uptown area to witness some of the jaw-dropping Halloween decorations. From towering skeletons to cobweb-covered mansions, the residents of New Orleans take their Halloween decorating very seriously. It's a hauntingly beautiful experience, perfect for a spooky selfie, and many pictures, fun for the whole family. Take a hop-on and off bus to the Garden District at St. Charles Avenue, or take the streetcar like I used to do every day. It's a memorable, fun experience. Boo at the Zoo, also in Uptown, is at Audubon Zoo, family-friendly in the New Orleans area with trick-or-treating, games, haunted house designed for kids. This is ideal for young ghouls and goblins who want to celebrate Halloween in a not-so-scary way. Celebrated October 18th to the 20th. A local beer craft event called Brews and Booze will entertain you and slake your thirst. It's an adult-only event and fun to do while in New Orleans. It's hosted in the City Park, and this event takes place on October 25th from 8 to 10 p.m. at the New Orleans City Park and the Carousel Gardens Amusement Park. There's also plenty of spooky parties on the Mississippi River. Paddle Wheeler Creole Queen Haunted Halloween Cruise is the spookiest party on the Mississippi River, and it's a perfect way to celebrate Halloween in true New Orleans style. And now I would like to read a little bit about the history of the infamous Crew of Boo Halloween Parade in New Orleans. Founded in 2007, the Crew of Boo rolled the following year as a fundraiser for Hurricane Katrina relief. It was a success, and after several years passed with no Halloween parade, New Orleans felt the absence of the event. Therefore, it was revived for the dead and brought back by popular demand in 2013. Crew of Boo was originally launched by Mr. Mardi Gras himself, Blaine Kern, Sr., who was highly celebrated as the mastermind behind the larger-than-life papier-mâché floats that have become the face of Mardi Gras since the 1950s. When Crew of Boo was resurrected, it was Blaine's son Brian that took the reins. That would be Brian Kern, Sr., a.k.a. Mr. Mardi Gras, Blaine Kern's Mardi Gras World. Young son Brian taking over the reins for Crew de Boo. The Kern family had been crafting Mardi Gras magic since 1932, and Brian Kern, son and legendary Blaine Kern, Sr., became crew captain in 2013. With the parade in its infancy, over the years, Brian has breathed new life into the parade, growing Crew of Boo into a highly anticipated event and a tradition that is both near and look forward to dear to our hearts every year. With 450 riders, 15 floats, 35 marching bands, and dance crews, Crew of Boo has grown from a single parade into a weekend full of events. Crew of Boo is the official Halloween parade of New Orleans, and it's no surprise that the city is known for its love of costumes and letting the good times roll. New Orleans is the best place to celebrate Halloween. Take it from me, we hope to see you. And that will do it for another Louisiana special, Halloween edition of the Wicked Webs We Weave podcast. Merci beaucoup, and thank you so much again for listening. Please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below of what you would like to hear me cover on a future episode. And much like the Halloween haunts that roam the French Quarter streets, I will see you next time. Au revoir.